You're listening to Mic Drop Moments, a podcast brought to you each week with me, your host, Sandra Garlick. During the podcast, I invite guests to share their amazing stories, knowledge and top tips, including their mic drop moments, especially for you. I also share my learning and inspiration about life, business growth and visibility. I'm delighted to bring the Mic Drop Moments podcast to you each week to inspire and motivate you to achieve. Enjoy the podcast and don't forget to leave a review. Mic Drop Moments is sponsored by Grow Radio. Want to launch your own podcast? Grow Radio are here to help. Grow Radio has launched and supported countless podcasts, and they'd love to do the same for you. Just hit record and they'll handle the rest. No editing stress, no technical faff, just a great podcast released when you want. Need a little extra support? Grow Radio's workshops and courses make getting started easy. Let's bring your podcast to life. Message Grow Radio on social media. Let's make this happen. Welcome to Mic Drop Moments, and this week is a solo episode and one that I really want to share with you because it's from personal experience, and I really think that this may help you when thinking about planning your time, your money and expenditure and what you're actually doing and salvaging your health in the process. So I'm going to share some home truths with you, some of my learning, some of my experiences over the last week or so, in the hope that you'll take from this what you need, if anything, and it will be, you can benefit from my lessons learned. So I'm only 4 weeks into a 15-week season of events, and I plan in 90 days, and I like to plan well ahead. I'm already planning next June, July, August, September, and I decided to do a trial. I'm always talking about visibility, putting yourself out there, and it's constant. You have to keep doing it. And I don't mean constant as in every day. What I mean is you have to be consistent. And I was conscious that I hadn't been out and about to a lot. So I wanted to do a 90-day trial over a 15-week period, just over 90 days. And attend a series of events to boost my visibility, because what I've got planned for 2026 needs me to grow my audience quite rapidly. So I embarked on a 90-day period of attending events, sponsoring events, exhibiting at events, speaking at events, and booked for 20 events in 15 weeks, which I thought was more than manageable, just over one a week. And built in some buffer time, a week off, a holiday, a trip to Italy, and some other downtime with friends, with family, and mainly clear weekends. All good in theory, hey? So, what I hadn't factored in was I was hosting a little event. Well, I said it was a small event. It turned out to be quite a big one, and I got hit with a curveball and I picked up a virus, and it completely knocked me out for almost a week. So even though I'd carefully planned all these events, it was all strategic, I built in the buffer time, built in the holiday, and yet, the curveball came. So I picked up a virus, and as I say, it just knocked me sideways. It took me out for nearly a week. But that pause gave me space to reflect on something really important. And even when every yes is intentional, even when your strategy is absolutely watertight, there is still a cost that goes beyond money. So everything started strong, everything I said yes to made perfect sense. There was sponsorships to raise the visibility, speaking engagements to grow my audience, exhibiting opportunities to connect with new people, and events to support others and nurture relationships, including my own event. Now, every item in my diary had a purpose, it had objectives, it was all aligned, well thought through, and completely in keeping with my visibility strategy. But as I found out, even the best laid plans you can only predict so much. And when you are the brand and you are the voice and you are the energy behind your business, you become the variable that matters most. And that's what I discovered. So let's look at the reality. So after hosting my own event, the one that I thought was going to be simple, small, low key, actually, everyone kept saying to me, this isn't a small event, Sandra. This is a big event. Yeah, 150 guests. It was a big event. But to me, compared with delivering an event in May with 300 people, this one was small in comparison. And I realised that just as much of my energy goes into planning and delivering a small event. When you care deeply about the experience that you give to other people, you put your everything into it. And that's what I do. I give it 200%. The people, the atmosphere, the follow-up, all of it. And then just as I was ready to move on to the next engagement, I was absolutely floored and completely knocked down. So the day after the event, I'm always tired, I'm always drained. That's why I jet off on a week's holiday. But I sort of delayed it a couple of weeks because I wanted to go somewhere quite specific. So the next day I was, couldn't do anything, couldn't string a sentence together. But then on the Sunday, I really felt ill and I knew something wasn't right. And whether it was a virus or first I thought it was food poisoning, but I think it was a virus of sorts. So it just wiped me out. So I had to make very, very difficult decisions. So it was just a total stop. And that's when my recalibration began, because suddenly I wasn't in control of my schedule anymore. My health was in control and I had to listen. My body was telling me to stop. So I had to reclaim that control. And I had to do that by cancelling events, which really isn't in my nature at all. And I had to cancel 2 things I really, really wanted to do. You get that, I get this, beam me up, Scotty, and deliver me somewhere else. You just wish you could be beamed and just delivered somewhere. And I had 2 events, one in Watford and one in Wales at Portmeirion, that I really wanted to be at. And I just couldn't physically drive to either of them. I couldn't get the trains. I just wasn't capable of travel. In fact, I couldn't leave the house. That's how poorly I was. So I pride myself in showing up, following through and being really dependable, but I knew that turning up half present or poorly wasn't going to be fair to anybody, not the organisers, not the attendees, not the people hosting the events, nor me. So I made the very difficult decision to cancel them. And I was gutted, severe FOMO, because, I wanted to be in those rooms. But once I cancelled them, I did feel lighter. I did feel less stressed about it all, because my focus had to be getting better. It had to be getting back to fitness, because I got a speaking event in Oxford on the Friday. I was exhibiting on the Saturday and sponsoring an event, and I was delivering my own speaker bootcamp on the Sunday and the Monday. So I knew that I had to be fully fit for those. So I think sometimes it's not about pushing through. It's about recognising when to pause, when to step back, when you need to recover, and to protect your long-term capacity to do things. So here are my lessons learned so far. So even strategy needs a bit of flexibility. So you can plan every detail, but you can't plan how you'll feel in the moment. And having to adapt isn't a weakness, it's a strength. Having to cancel events, it's just something that is necessary from time to time. And you shouldn't beat yourself up about it, because I'm certainly not. Lesson 2, recovery is non-negotiable. High performance, and I am doing what I call a high performance 90 days right now. It demands high recovery, and rest isn't an indulgence. It's not selfish to put yourself first. It's your body's maintenance system. You need to protect your business's most valuable asset, and that's you. And when you are front and centre of your own business, a lot of people say, could your business run without you? But when your business focuses on you and you are the person that drives that, even though you've got a team around you, you still need to be able to high perform when you need to. Lesson 3, visibility without sort of vitality and looking after yourself, it just simply doesn't work. And true presence requires energy. And if you're exhausted, your message simply doesn't land in the same way. And I've learned that especially this week. It's great to be visible, it's great to be out there, but you simply need the energy to do that. And if you don't work on that energy, then you can't be the person you need to be to perform. Lesson 4, it's okay to recalibrate. Midpoint. Changing direction mid-plan doesn't mean you're off track. It just means you're aware enough to stay on course in the long run. And so I've had to tweak a few things. I've had to change a few things. I've had to cancel a few things. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. And lesson 5, always ask, what's the real cost of saying yes? Attending these events, speaking at events, exhibiting at events, sponsoring at events. Before you say yes, don't just ask what's the budget, because the budget was there. The budget was planned. The budget was strategic. But what will this cost me in energy, health, and headspace? Sometimes the true cost isn't financial. It's physical, or it may be emotional. And if that price feels too high, it's okay to say no. And one of the things I am doing is saying no to things that, yes, I would love to be in the room. Yes, there may be some FOMO, but I know that I need to protect my energy, my health, and give myself space. Because to perform, to be the best for my clients, to deliver for my clients, I need to be 100%. Being 50% is not good enough, not when they're paying me to deliver. So it's about redefining success in real time. And when I was speaking last week, I did say visibility has to be on your terms. What's right for one person isn't right for another person. Success for one person is different to another person. So your visibility hasn't got to be the same as my visibility. It's got to be what's right for you. It's got to be what's right for you in that moment, as has mine right now. So this whole experience has reminded me that visibility isn't about being everywhere. It's about being well enough to be your best when it matters most. So I'm continuing with my 90 days. I've got some lovely events coming up. I have cancelled a few more in the future where I'm just attending. I'm protecting my weekends as best I can because I know that my weekends are precious to me now. They are my recovery time. And as I continue, I'm thinking about doing things a little slower, a little smarter, a bit more renewed respect for the balance between everything I want to do and my health and well-being. Because what's the point of creating all these opportunities and being amazing and visible if you're too exhausted to enjoy them? So if you're listening right now and you're in that same phase, because I know on the run up to that big C word at the end of the year, we seem to think we've got to pack everything in and we seem to feel we've got to attend every invitation we get. Full diaries, full calendars. You might have a full heart, but I just want to remind you that you don't have to do it all, and saying no to things for your own self-preservation is okay. So it's a reminder really to check in with yourself, look at what's ahead in your diary and maybe ask, what's this costing me? Not just in terms of money, but in energy, health, peace of mind. Because protecting your health is protecting your business. And sometimes the most strategic decision you can make is to rest. And I'm looking forward to doing some of that soon. So thank you for joining me on this rather open and honest reflection on Mic Drop Moments this week. If this has resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just tag me at Sandra Garlick MBE and share your biggest takeaway. And if you're ready to plan your visibility in 2026, my new strategy days will be coming soon. The Let's Get Visible Academy, if you're listening to this on the day it's released, it closes at midnight tonight. And, remember, success is only success if you're well enough to enjoy it. So until next time, please take care of your energy, your health, and be wary of those yeses. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Mic Drop Moments podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Join me next week for more inspiration, learning, and top tips. Want to work with me on your business growth and strategy, speaking, or simply growing your audience? Just get in touch. Visit womanwho.co.uk to find out how you can start your speaking and visibility journey, or even feature on a future podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's podcast. And if there are any topics you would like to hear, just get in touch with me, your host, Sandra Garlick.